All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, most exciting leaps forward for AI right now. It's a technique called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but trust me, this one idea is completely changing how AI systems think, learn, and, well, answer our questions. But let's start with something we've all run into, right? You ask a super powerful AI like ChatGPT a question, and it gives you an answer with all the confidence in the world, but it's just completely wrong. Or maybe you ask it about something that just happened, and it has no clue what you're even talking about. So what gives? Why does that happen? Well, to understand the solution, we first have to get right to the heart of the problem. You see, these incredibly brilliant models have a core limitation, and it really all comes down to two fundamental issues. Okay, let's break this down. First, you've got the knowledge cutoff. The best way to think about it is like this. An AI model is a student who graduated in, let's say, 2022. All of its knowledge is basically sealed at that point in time. It can't tell you who won the World Series last year. But then there's the other problem, and honestly, this one's a little more dangerous. It's called hallucination. This is when the AI doesn't know the answer, but it really wants to be helpful, so it just makes stuff up. It will invent facts, create fake sources, and say it all with 100% confidence. So, what do? How do you fix a brain that's out of date and has a habit of inventing things? Well, the solution is actually surprisingly simple and kind of beautiful. You don't try to retrain the brain or cram more info into it. Nope. Instead, you give it a library. And that, right there, is the whole idea behind RAG. So RAG, Retrieval-Augmented Generation, is a system that gives a language model an external library, a knowledge base that it can check in real time. This means before it even tries to answer your question, it first does a quick search to find the most relevant, up-to-date factual information. It's a simple two-step dance. First, retrieve the facts, then generate the answer. The easiest way to get this is the student and library analogy. So, imagine your standard large language model. That's the brilliant student. It's a fantastic writer, great at reasoning. The retriever, that's our expert library, packed with all the latest books, articles, and facts. So before our smart student even starts writing their essay, they pop over to the library, find the exact facts they need, and then they use their amazing writing skills to put together an A-plus paper. It's not just well written, it's accurate and grounded in real information. So this whole system really has two main characters, right? Two key players that have to work together perfectly. Let's get to know them. You have the retriever, and you have the generator. First up is the retriever. Think of this as the expert librarian. It doesn't care about writing beautiful sentences or sounding smart. Its one and only job is to be an insanely fast and accurate researcher. When you ask a question, it just zips through that external library and pulls out the most relevant snippets of text. Then it hands those facts over to the generator, who we can call the eloquent writer. Now, this is the LLM we all know and love. It takes your original question, adds the fresh facts from the librarian, and weaves it all together into a perfect, easy-to-read answer. Okay, I know what you're thinking. A smart library sounds great, but how does it actually work? How do you get all that information ready so an AI can search it in a meaningful way? Well, this is where things get really, really clever. It all happens in about 4 key steps. First, you ingest your documents. This can be anything: PDFs, articles, your company's internal wiki, you name it. Now, since an AI can't just read an entire book at once, those documents are then broken down into smaller, bite-sized chunks. Then comes the magic part. Each of those little chunks gets converted into a string of numbers called an embedding. This isn't just random numbers, it's a mathematical representation of the chunk's meaning. Finally, all these meaningful number chunks are stored in a special kind of database, a vector database, that's built to search for meaning, not just words. So what's the big deal with this special database? Why is it so different? Well, it all comes down to how it searches. The old way, keyword search, is super literal. If you search for the word automobile, you're only going to get documents with the word automobile. But the new way, vector search, it searches by meaning. It understands that the concept of an automobile is incredibly close to the concept of a car, so it's smart enough to grab relevant info about both. That right there is the secret sauce that makes the retriever so incredibly powerful. So, we've gone through the problem, we've looked at the mechanics of the solution, but what does this all mean for us in the real world? Why is this seemingly simple idea a total game changer? Let's use a perfect, concrete example. Ask an AI that was trained before the end of 2022 who won the FIFA World Cup in 2022. It's either going to guess, get it wrong, or just say it doesn't know.
But with a RAG system, the whole process is different. The retriever instantly searches its knowledge base for FIFA World Cup 2022 winner. It finds the correct data, and then the generator takes that fact and confidently and correctly answers Argentina. Just like that, problem solved.
And when you zoom out, the benefits here are just transformative. All of a sudden, your AI's knowledge is never out of date. You just add new documents to its library anytime you want. Those scary hallucinations, they're dramatically reduced because every answer is now grounded in real, verifiable facts. This means you can create specialized, expert AIs for any field, medicine, law, or even just your own company's private data. And maybe the best part of all, you get traceability. The AI can actually show its work and cite its sources, which gets rid of that whole black box mystery.
Which brings us to one final, really critical thought to leave you with. There's a saying, the golden rule of RAG is that the system is only as good as its retriever. Think about that. The eloquent writer part, the LLM, it's impressive for sure, but its final performance is completely dependent on the quality of the information it gets from that expert librarian. And this shifts our focus away from just building bigger, more powerful AI brains and towards building better, smarter AI libraries. And that, right there, might just be the most important upgrade of all.